How's it going, everybody? My cup of tea here, back to my reaction video, and it's time to return to watch some more Warhammer videos. Yay, yay. Now, I think it's been about 2 weeks since the last Warhammer video, so to make it up for you guys, I have 3 videos planned for you guys. I know the map isn't mapping, why 3? Don't worry about that. But I remember last time I mentioned we're going to be watching some Space Marines videos, because I want to learn more about them. And so here we are, with our first video going to be 40K lore for newcomers, who are the Space Marines, question mark, by 40K Theories. And this was requested by Raw Mel. Bam, shouts out to you, Raw Mel, shouts out to you. We're getting to this, because I need to know exactly who the Space Marines are, because I know in the previous videos, I think it was Ricky and West Hammer, they mentioned a little bit about the Space Marines, but I don't know exactly how they become Space Marines, or what they do. I know they take out demons and whoever's a threat to the Empire, or the Imperium, but I don't know what they do, if that makes sense. I know there's different factions in the Space Marines, and each Primaris has their own Space Marine faction, but I don't know what these factions are or what each faction does necessarily. But I know they were mentioned before in the previous video. But that's enough talking. Let's get into this. It feels good to be back. It feels good to be back here watching Warhammer videos. Now I got my Courage the Cowardly Dog shirt just in case something crazy happens, like the last video we watched. So let's do this. Okay, yeah, get that disclaimer. I'm ready to learn. Oh, action. Alright, here we go. Did y'all see that new game announced in the one of the showcases? I think it's Space Marines 2. It's pretty nice. Looks like a co-op, kind of like Gears of War, but not really Gears of War. I think it's similar, maybe. I think it's third person over the show. Oh, doesn't matter.
Hello everyone, this is Remlace from 40K Theories,
Hello.
and welcome to this new episode of 40K Lore for Newcomers.
That's me, I'm a newcomer.
For this episode, we will be taking a brief look at the Adeptus Astartes, or, as they are more commonly known, the Space Marines.
Okay, I thought
as
they were
always,
the robot,
this is a brief overview, and certain
people.
events and such will have their own in-depth videos dedicated to them within the future.
I'm the Cyan God.
So without further ado, let's begin.
Okay, let's get it.
While the enemies of the Emperor still draw breath, there can be no peace.
The Adeptus Astartes are genetically augmented transhuman super soldiers originally designed by the Emperor of Mankind
Okay, I remember
himself.
that. They're yeah, I remember that.
They are large.
Sorry for pausing real quick. I forgot, yeah. The Emperor did some trial and errors with 2 groups. There were, I forgot what they were called, but the second group was a bloodthirsty, they didn't have they weren't really smart, and so the Emperor was testing them out, alright, let's get rid of that entire group I made, and let's merge them with this other group that's pretty well, and that's how you make the Space Marines. I remember that part.
Larger, stronger, and longer lived than regular humans, with heightened reflexes, a superior healing ability, and cognitive enhancement.
Okay.
They are one of the Imperium's most elite fighting forces, akin to militant monastic orders, and they are more commonly known to the people of the Imperium as the Emperor's Angels of Death.
Okay. Angels of
They
Death.
are separated into various chapters, each with their own heraldry and unique cultural aspects.
Oh, they're called chapters, not factions.
Some are brutal and savage berserkers from vicious death worlds, while others are stoic and disciplined, being the epitome of humanity's nature.
Okay, nice to see.
Astartes are equipped with some of the finest weaponry and armor available to any of the Imperium's militant forces, and are a potent force upon the battlefield. Whenever they make their presence known, they bring hope to the loyal servants of the Emperor.
Hope?
And fear into the enemies of man.
There's no hope for humanity. Origins.
Justice is quite simply the will of the Emperor.
All for the Emperor.
The creation of the original Astartes began at the end of the Terran Unification Wars, prior to the advent of the Great Crusade.
I remember that thing.
They are, in essence, the successors to the Emperor's original Thunder Warrior project.
That's what Thunder Warrior project. That's what it's called. Yes.
Even larger and stronger than an Astartes, yet with much shorter lifespans. The genetic material used in the creation of the Astartes was harvested from samples taken from the infant forms of the Primarchs, the genetic sons of the Emperor himself.
I did know some stuff, alright.
The Primarchs themselves would be spirited away from the Emperor's gene labs before they reached maturity by the Chaos Gods and scattered throughout the galaxy. These warriors, augmented with Primarch DNA, the first true Astartes, would be organized into 20 separate legions, which could be up to 100 times larger than a modern-day Space Marine chapter.
Okay.
These legions would travel from Terra across the galaxy to conquer and reclaim worlds in the name of the Emperor and the Imperium.
Over
the course of the Great Crusade, each Space Marine Legion would eventually be reunited with its respective Primarch, who would take command of the Legion. Two of the Primarchs and their respective legions would have their names and records erased from the annals of Imperial history for some unknown transgression.
Told me about unknown. Okay, but yeah,
who
sorry.
these
We don't know.
Primarchs were and what crimes they may have committed is unlikely to ever come to light.
We don't know because they were erased, so they'll never tell us.
Within the early years
they
of
won't.
M31, a civil war known as the Horus Heresy would erupt, where fully half of the remaining Space Marine legions would rebel against the Emperor and side with the treacherous war master of the Imperium, Horus Lupercal. This civil war would devastate the nascent Imperium and result in several Primarchs being slain over the course of the conflict. And it would end with the Emperor being mortally wounded and interred into the life support systems of the Golden Throne. It was following the events of the Horus Heresy that the Primarch Rabute Guilliman would pen a text known as the Codex Astartes, which would restructure the Space Marine legions into smaller chapters.
That's right, yeah.
Some chapters would retain their original legion name and heraldry, while the others would take all new names and heraldry and would become known as successor chapters. Guilliman's reason for splitting the legions was to ensure that no one man could have the power that Horus himself had, and in theory, prevent such a civil war from ever happening again.
Yeah, that was a dangerous civil war right there.
Fenris breeds heroes like a bar breeds drunks.
That's funny, because my next video is going to be about the recruitment thing on the Space Marines. But this will be like a good gist of what's going on here. What goes through here.
For a fight.
The creation of a Space Marine is a long and time-consuming process, which takes approximately a decade to fully complete.
A decade? Oh,
Astartes have been known to recruit potential aspirants from a number of different sources, including from young gang members from the depths of hive worlds or from the vicious tribes of feral death worlds.
Oh, they go out searching for some recruitment.
Aspirants are taken at a relatively young age, typically between 10 to 12 Terran Standard years of age.
Oh, is that like...
Each Space Marine chapter will have 12 Terran aspirants are taken at a relatively young age, typically between 10 to 12 Terran Standard years of age.
Is that like adult age? Because is age different from like, you know, like real life? Is that different age? Like, is 10 to 12 like 30 to 40? I don't know.
Each Space Marine chapter will have their own unique recruitment process, and those aspirants who are chosen will be forced to undergo certain trials to prove their worthiness to be made into an Astartes.
Okay, what are these trials?
The aspirants of the Raven Guard, for example, will be tasked with capturing and killing a Kievaran Raven with their bare hands to prove their skill, while aspirants of the Blood Angels must cross a vast and dangerous desert to reach an area known as the Place of Challenge to prove their worth.
I gotta go across the desert
just to get to the aspirants prove themselves worthy, then over the course of the next 6 to 10 years, they are implanted with each of the organs unique to Astartes' physiology.
Okay.
Once the implantation process has begun,
these
aspirants become known to the chapter as neophytes, and their training begins. As their training progresses, these neophytes will typically spend time within the scout company under the tutelage of a veteran sergeant, although this varies with some chapters.
Never mind, okay.
It is here in the scout company that the neophytes will be trained in the art of war and how to utilize the weaponry and equipment of the chapter.
Alright.
Upon the battlefield, they will be used to perform reconnaissance and utilize guerrilla tactics against the enemy.
Bye boy, the orcs.
As more and more of the genetic augmentations are implanted into the neophytes, they will eventually become known as initiates to the rest of the chapter. of the chaptalized guerrilla tactics against the enemy. As more and more of the genetic augmentations are implanted into the neophytes, they will eventually become known as initiates to the rest of the chapter.
Gotcha.
When the initiates are deemed ready, which is roughly between 16 to 18 years of age, they will receive their final implant, the Black Carapace, and become a fully fledged battle brother of the chapter.
It's like, nah, you gotta train
Once
for this.
Once they become a battle brother, Astartes will move from the Scout Company into one of the other 9 companies within the chapter, with the exception of the first company, which is purely for the most skilled and honoured veteran warriors of the chapter. Once assigned to a company, these battle brothers will then be attached to the chapter's Devastator squads and will be tasked with calling targets to the veteran battle brothers of the squad, who will be the ones utilising the heavy weaponry typical of a Devastator squad.
Wait, what?
And will be tasked to brothers will then be attached to the chapter's Devastator squads and will be tasked with calling targets to the veteran battle brothers of the squad, who will be the ones utilising the heavy weaponry typical of a Devastator squad.
Take them out.
After gaining some more experience, some of the younger members of the Devastators may find themselves transferred into one of the chapter's many assault squads, where they learn the art of melee and meet the enemy head-on in close combat. Once a battle brother has mastered the weaponry and tactics of the Scout, Devastator and Assault squads, then they can become part of a tactical squad. These tactical squads form the backbone of the chapter's military strength. And
a lot of steps you gotta climb when you get into, like, try to become a space marine. A lot of steps you gotta climb, which makes sense because you're battling like these evil forces and chaos gods and orcs. A lot of evil stuff you gotta be prepared for. It makes sense.
Then they can become part of a tactical squad. These tactical squads form the backbone of the chapter's military strength, and thanks to their training are considered to be jacks of all trades, able to perform well in any given situation upon the field of battle.
That's important.
A number of aspirants, however, will be selected and trained to perform specialist tasks within the chapter. Some will be sent to Mars to undergo the training to become a Tech Marine, where they will learn the tenets of the machine cult of the Adeptus Mechanicus, and gain knowledge on how to repair the chapter's vehicles and equipment.
You gotta believe really hard in it.
Others will be sent to the Apothecarium, where they will be trained to become apothecaries, medics and healers who are responsible for future gene seed implantation and recovery. And others still will be selected to become chaplains, who maintain the chapter's cultural beliefs and inspire their brothers to great acts of valor in the name of their emperor and primarch. If they are found to have psychic potential, then these aspirants may find themselves selected to join the ranks of the Librarius, becoming trained as a librarian, warrior psychers of immense skill, discipline, and knowledge. If a hero of the chapter suffers wounds that are too grievous to be treated by the chapter's apothecaries, they may find themselves entombed within the sarcophagus of a Dreadnought, a robotic construct that is effectively a walking tank. Within a Dreadnought, an Astartes can live on and continue to serve the chapter for millennia to come.
For a millennium?
One of the most notable in this regard is Bjorn the Fell-Handed of the Space Wolves chapter, who fought alongside his Primarch during the events of the Great Crusade and Horus Heresy.
Dang. There's a legend here.
Unlike the rest of the Imperium who either worship the Emperor as a god or follow the tenets of the cult Mechanicus, the majority of Space Marine chapters hold true to their ancient customs and beliefs. The tenets of each chapter cult will vary from chapter to chapter, and some can be extremely barbaric and savage.
Yeah, I can see right here.
Regardless of their own cultural beliefs, all Space Marine chapters venerate the Emperor as the master of mankind, and will fight to the death to defend his Imperium and his subjects.
So they all fight for the Imperium, the Emperor.
Do not fail your brothers.
Gene seed organs and flaws.
Though their bodies die, their spirit must return to the chapter. That is your charge.
Sorry for pausing. So I was gonna say with the Dreadnought. So it's like, if you're like, it can't be repaired by the apothecaries, you're put inside this big robot and you can live forever, or not forever, but I think you said basically almost like you live a long time. Can they leave the Dreadnought, or like once they're stuck in there, like once they're in there, they're stuck there for life? And do they feel pain at all? I don't know. Is it like a mech, like a Gundam, like you can just hop out or something? Like I don't know. I don't know. Interesting.
As mentioned earlier,
like, you hurt?
the
You still gonna
basis
fight, though.
of an Astartes genetic augmentation comes from the genetic material or gene seed derived from their respective Primarch. As a result of this, chapters that are derived from the DNA of different Primarchs will display different traits from one another, which can be as minor as behavioural quirks or as major as fully fledged genetic markers. Following the events of the Horus Heresy, only the gene seed of the 9 Loyalist Primarchs is officially used in the process of creating successor chapters.
Ones too?
But there have been rumours and speculation that some chapters have utilised a gene seed of some of the traitor Primarchs.
There it is, okay.
When an aspirant begins the process of being transformed into an Astartes, a total of 19 separate organs are implanted into them if they are to become a standard Astartes, with an additional 3 implants in the case of Primaris Marines, which shall be covered later on.
Oh, thank you. I'm like, that's something
While some of these
right
organs are fully functional immediately after implantation, some will only become viable after certain other organs are implanted.
What is this?
Or through a series of chemical treatments and hypnotherapy.
No, put all the organs in now so they work.
The first of these organs to be implanted is the secondary heart, which not only functions as a backup for the Astartes' own natural heart,
a backup heart?
But this organ can also help an Astartes survive in low oxygen environments and maintain blood flow. The second is the osmodula, which helps reinforce an Astartes skeleton with ceramic materials that is drawn from the Astartes' own diet. In addition, this organ causes the bones to grow longer and thicker, accounting for the Astartes' increased size, as well as altering the ribcage into a series of interlocking plates to better protect the organs within. The third is the Biscopia, which stimulates the growth of extra muscle mass, enhancing an Astartes' physical strength.
Making that super strength.
Fourth is the Hemastamen, which increases the amount of hemoglobin within the Astartes' bloodstream,
What's that blood?
making it more efficient at transporting oxygen throughout the body. The fifth is the Laramens organ, which is implanted into the chest and connected to the circulatory system. It secretes special Laramen cells, which attach to the leukocytes within the blood if the Astartes is injured.
I'm learning new stuff about the biology of Space Marines. That's okay. All right.
These cells will then quickly seal off almost any wound that the Astartes has suffered, giving an Astartes their remarkable resilience.
Yeah, that's that regeneration he talked about earlier.
Sixth is the catalepsia node, which is implanted within an Astartes' brain.
Oh no.
This organ controls the body's circadian rhythm, and allows the Astartes to switch off certain portions of their brain in response to sleep deprivation, allowing an Astartes to remain awake for up to 2 weeks straight at a time.
Whoa, okay.
The seventh organ is the Priomnor. This organ acts as a secondary stomach, which neutralizes poisonous materials before they enter the stomach, rendering an Astartes immune to ingesting most types of toxins.
Gotcha.
Eighth is the Omophagia, which is implanted within the spinal cord and connected to the stomach. This allows an Astartes to experience the memories of the dead by eating their flesh.
Oh, whoa, okay. Whoa, what? Huh? Why is that even a thing? Why would you want that? He's gonna tell me, but whoa. Oh, it's a good thing you got that eighth thing he mentioned. What was the Fermino? That's like a second stomach. Good thing you have that, because what if you eat some rotten flesh? Why would you want that? Why would you want that?
Astartes to experience the memories of the dead by eating their flesh. Ninth is
Don't tell me. It's fine. I'll come up with my own reason. Okay, maybe if they need some intel, they eat the flesh, and then they're like, memories. This is what happened, and then maybe that's why. That has to be why, because I don't know why else would you want to have this in here.
Memories of the dead by eating their flesh.
That's a wild... I never...
Ninth is the multi-lung, which allows an Astartes to breathe toxic gases, atmospheres with low oxygen density, and even water by shutting off their natural lungs in favour of this third lung.
Okay. Oh, that's why you had
The 10th organ is the oculobe, which when used in conjunction with the correct stimuli and therapy, increases the growth of the retinal cells within the eye, giving Astartes the ability to see perfectly in low-light environments, as well as enhancing their eyesight to a level far superior than that of unaugmented humans.
I was gonna say that one. They're like an assassination group. I forgot what they're called, but basically like the snipers. Do they have? Well, they're not Space Marines, so they wouldn't have this. Okay, let me keep going. Let me stop pausing.
The 11th is the liman's ear. This organ completely replaces an Astartes' natural ear for one that not only enhances an Astartes' hearing, allowing them to filter and enhance specific sounds, but also renders an Astartes immune to motion sickness and unable to be made dizzy.
Okay, that's really useful.
12th is the Susan membrane, which allows an Astartes to enter a state of suspended animation, either consciously or as an instinctive response to severe trauma, allowing them to survive for centuries even after suffering the most grievous of wounds.
Oh, okay.
The 13th organ is the melanchromic organ.
Okay.
This controls the amount of melanin within the skin of an Astartes, affording them protection from not only intense sunlight by darkening the skin when needed, but also many types of radiation, even that which would kill regular humans outright. 14th,
wait, can you like change like
needed, affording them protection from not only intense sunlight by darkening the skin when needed.
Yes, whenever you want to. Like, all right, this sunlight's here. It's kind of bright over here. Kind of hurts. I must go dark.
But also many types of radiation, even that which would kill regular humans outright. 14th is the oolithic kidney, which, in conjunction with the secondary heart, filters the bloodstream of an Astartes at rapid pace to purge their system of toxins, giving them protection from most types of poisons and venoms.
I mean, that's when the second stomach fails,
If an Astartes is afflicted with a lethal dose of toxins, the oolithic kidney can perform an emergency detoxification of an Astartes' bloodstream. But this will render them temporarily unconscious due to the rapid pace at which blood is pumped through the body.
Makes sense, makes sense.
15th is the neuroglottis, which heightens an Astartes' sense of taste to an extreme degree, allowing them to identify numerous chemical components by taste alone,
I'm like, why would you want
and
that?
even track down an enemy by taste in a similar manner to a Jacobson's organ found within snakes.
Oh, didn't know that. All right.
The 16th organ is the mucranoid, which coats the skin of an Astartes with a waxy secretion to protect them from extreme temperature and even provides limited protection from exposure to the vacuum of space. 17th are the Becher's glands, which allows an Astartes to spit a potent and highly acidic venom.
They can spit venom
The
now?
penultimate organs to be implanted are the progenoid glands. These glands are arguably the most important of all the gene seed implants, for they will absorb genetic material from the other implants over the course of a decade until they become gene seed.
That's something you put in first.
These organs will then serve as a repository storing the data of all the other organs within an Astartes. So if an Astartes is slain in battle, the gene seed can be recovered and returned to the chapter, where new organs can be grown and implanted into new aspirants, keeping the chapter alive.
Yep. Alright, so, that was a lot right there. That was a lot to learn right there. What I understand the gist of it, they're built different. They're literally built different. Over here, spitting poison, got protection from radiation, the sun, a temporary vacuum of space, extra organs like stomach, lungs, kidney, stronger bones, you know, just they're built different. They're superhumans, like he said. Don't ask me to break down each part because that's not gonna happen. Each part he mentioned, I can't even say the names of some of them.
The final organ is the black carapace, which is implanted under the skin of an Astartes.
Under the skin.
This carapace allows an Astartes to perfectly interface with its power armor at a neurological level, allowing it to become, effectively, a part of their bodies. However, over the course of the last 10,000 years, the gene seed stock of the various Space Marine chapters has begun to slowly degenerate.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
Flaws within the gene seed are becoming more and more commonplace.
Uh-oh.
Some of these flaws are relatively minor, such as the Death Spectres chapter suffering a defective melanchromic organ, resulting in the warriors of the chapter suffering from albinism. Others are much more drastic, such as the Black Dragons chapter suffering from a hyperactive osmodular organ, resulting in the warriors of the chapter developing bony horns and crests, as well as blade-like protrusions from their arms. To monitor the stability and purity of the gene seed, each chapter is ordered to send roughly 5% of their gene seed stock at regular intervals as a tithe to the Adeptus Mechanicus. Once the tithes have been received, the Adeptus Mechanicus will conduct purity checks upon it to determine if the mutations within the gene seed break the bounds of tolerance of genetic purity.
Okay.
If a chapter's gene seed is deemed too flawed or too impure, then that chapter will be destroyed along with any and all of their gene seed stock.
Oh, they said, nah, you can't contaminate this. Destroy them all. Destroy it.
Speak forth the litany of retribution and deliver unto our enemy the wrath of the Omnissiah.
In addition to a standard Astartes, there are also what are known as Primaris Space Marines.
Yeah, what is Primaris?
These particular Astartes have their origins set during the events of the Horus Heresy, with the Raptor project conducted by the Primarch Corvus Corax of the Raven Guard Legion, which failed thanks to the actions of Alpha Legion double agents. But following the events of the Horus Heresy, the Primarch Rabute Guilliman instructed the Archmagus Dominus of the newly restructured Adeptus Mechanicus in the events of the Horus Heresy. The Primarch Rabute Guilliman instructed the Archmagus Dominus of the newly restructured Adeptus Mechanicus, Belisarius Cawl, to begin the creation of a new breed of Astartes that would aid the Imperium in its darkest hour. Primaris Marines are physically larger and stronger than a typical Astartes, and in addition boast a gene seed that is far more stable, with only a 0.001% chance of genetic deviation.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
This stability has also been able to seemingly eliminate some of the most incurable and infamous of genetic flaws, such as the Black Rage within the gene seed of the Blood Angels. As well as having enhanced strength, size, and gene seed stability,
this seems like the way to go.
Primaris Marines also feature 3 additional genetic implants over standard Astartes. These are the sinew coils, which reinforce the sinews within the Astartes body with durametallic cabling that also enhances the host's strength and acts as another form of internal protection.
Nice.
The Magnificat, which enhances the growth rate of a Primaris Marine's body, as well as the efficiency of their internal organs. And finally, the Belisarian Furnace, which expels a series of stimulants in the events of extreme stress or physical trauma.
So you would need the first 18, I think it's 18 organs, and then if you want to be like a, I forgot, Primaris? I forgot what he just said. You would need these extra 3 organs. Okay. It seems like this is the best way to go. Why can't we do more of this?
Which also aids with the regeneration of any wounds that the Astartes has received.
I didn't hear it.
Many Space Marine chapters have been reinforced with this new and improved breed of Astartes,
we're good.
Even entire chapters have been founded that are comprised entirely of Primaris Marines, giving the Imperium some much-needed reinforcement. However, it should also be noted that while some chapters welcome these new Astartes with open arms, some chapters have outright refused Primaris reinforcement for various reasons.
Why? I mean, there's no downside to
and
this.
That concludes this edition of 40K lore for newcomers. If you like this video, consider supporting us on Patreon for more content. Until next time, this has been Ren from 40K Theories, and we'll see you soon.
It seems like they're going against the Omnissiah. That's a nice video. Okay. 40K lore for newcomers, alright. But no, he has like a whole, I think he has a whole series on like the 40K lore stuff, and I was like checking the search results. Interesting. That was just a little tease into the Space Marines and like how they are, I guess you could say, created, who they are, a little bit about the recruitment process that we're going to watch later. There's different steps to the becoming a Space Marine. It's just not like a, hey, get these organs, oh, you're good. No, get these organs, train some more, and it depends on like how skillful you are. You go to like different the chapters. You go to Mars, be like a tech person, apothecaries, or there's one other thing I forgot. But yeah, interesting. So I realize now, I know how they were created, like how they like formed from one of the videos I watched. Now what I did not know was these organs, like the organs that are implemented or put into the new recruitee. People who want to become a Space Marine, the organs they put in, I didn't know about that and like how useful they were. A lot of organs they had in there, and they do a lot of different stuff, which come with flaws, but thankfully the Adeptus Mechanicus came with a solution. I think they were part of the solution for the new Marines. He just said it, I forgot it. It starts with a P. Yeah, but for some reason other chapters don't want to accept this. I don't know why. They must be haters on the Adeptus Mechanicus. Oh, how dare you. But yep, that's gonna do it for this video. I know this was a short video compared to the other Warhammer videos we watched. Usually they're like an hour long, but that's why I came with 2 different videos that we're gonna watch. I might have missed some stuff, so please let me know down below what I might have missed, but we got some more Space Marines videos I want to check out. So this is just a little introduction. I still gotta know about the factions. But thank you for watching. My cup of tea is out of here. And deuces everybody. Man, I just say that one organ, just like eat dead flesh to gain their memories. That threw me for a loop. I'm like, okay, sure, I guess, why not? Sure, go ahead if you need to do it. I don't know what goes on in this universe.